Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. I done kept it real from the jump. I done kept it real from the jump. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we. I done kept it real from the. I done kept it real from the jump. Living at my mama house, we'd argue every month, nigga. I done kept it real from the jump. Living at my mama house, we'd argue every month, nigga. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. I done kept it real from the jump. I done kept it real. I done kept it real from the jump.
Yeah. This is for all you non-philosophizing black sheep, unwelcome, pushed to the side motherfuckers like me.
Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Let's get down to business. These bitches got glitches. And you thought you'd dismiss us? Nah. Now I'm laughing in stitches. See, the problem be, it'll be a tragic travesty to come after me. So just know this is how we get down. Respect that shit like a pronoun, bitch. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. And fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way.
What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Oz, and this is another install. I think this is what, number 4 or 5 already. Time flies when you're having fun. But another installment of Becoming Comfortable with the Uncomfortable, and we're missing part of the normal crew tonight. Secular Rarity is out doing rare secular sex things or something. I don't know. So he won't be joining. But we have Shane and CosmicKyle have been a part of each one so far. How are you gentlemen this evening?
Can't complain. Doing well.
I'm doing good, thanks.
Awesome. And if you guys couldn't tell, Shane just started playing guitar, and it became an obsession very quickly.
Yep.
He dropped a lot of money real fast.
Right.
He went to Sweetwater and was like, here's all my money. Just give me what I can afford. But new addition to the panel. Hey, Ron, Aaron Coalson, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I feel a little better. I got I'm on like 4 days with about 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep. So got a little nap here before we
nice.
And as soon as we're done here, I'm going night.
Yeah, same. It's been a long day.
But yeah, we'll just dig into it. I'll do the announcements at the end. But tonight's topic, obviously, you didn't, those in the chat, you didn't see it, is going to be on divorce. And sorry, I'm still getting my stuff moved around here, so if I seem distracted, I am. But we'll talk about divorce, and I know, well, I'll ask a couple questions, and then we can just open up for dialogue, but just so we're all clear. So how many of us come from a split home? Our parents divorced?
Yep, me.
Okay. And then how many have either been through divorce, going through a divorce, or maybe multiple? All right. Well, I'm just going to put you on the spot, Shane, because you kind of brought up the topic in our group thread.
Sure.
How would you like to start it off, sir?
I guess I'll just start by telling a little bit of my, what's going on with me right now. I've kind of stepped away from the YouTube and online community a little bit. So my wife and I care for each other very much. We're both, we really like each other as people. But we have realized that we're not in love anymore, and there's no ill will. We both want what's best for each other, and we both want what's best for the kids. But if we're being honest with each other and ourselves, we haven't been in a romantic relationship for a while, for like a few years, and it's been just like roommates. So we feel that it would be better for us to be friends. We have started the divorce process, and we are going, actually on Thursday we're meeting with a lawyer. But it's gonna be, we don't really have any assets to fight over anyway, but it's gonna be a really easy, non-contentious that we're just gonna sell the house, split everything 50-50, and just it's kind of weird because our relationship is actually a lot better now. It's funny because I was in a bad place mentally, and I think a while ago I talked about how I had switched medications recently and they were helping a lot. But before that, when I would get anxious or upset or depressed or something, or overwhelmed, I would just shut down, and like tunnel vision, I'd only just kind of see what's right in front of me and just be treading water and not paying attention to anybody else. And that's hard to have a relationship with. So I've been going to therapy. I changed my medication. I feel like I've been doing a lot better. But I need to really kind of focus on myself for a while before I'm ready to be somebody else's partner. And I guess that's enough for now. We'll probably get into it more later. I feel like I'm rambling, but
Okay, good. You're good. I guess kind of take that, and we can kind of start to run from there. The one thing I want to point out, this is not my well, I have two separate experiences. My first wife, that was a train wreck, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But it doesn't have to be that way. And yep. Shane, I'm glad that you and your partner now, previous partner, can do it amicably, peacefully, and negotiate through it, because it's a lot easier, it's a lot healthier for you guys and children involved, and even the rest of the family, because when it's ugly, it affects a lot more people than even just those that live in the house, so
yeah.
So we can kind of start off there if anybody else wants to jump in there.
Yeah, does anybody else want to jump in?
Well, from my own experience, you see, my real father left when I was born, actually. He wasn't at my birth. He decided to split from my mom and take off. They were divorced right around the time I was born, like I said. And it was a single parent household until I was probably 8 or 9. I think it was around 9. I was introduced to my now stepdad, who I call Dad. He's basically the rock in our family. But around age 14, my real dad got back in contact with me. He decided he wanted to reconnect and make up for lost time because he, I guess, was feeling guilty. But I was 14. He took us out to dinner. We had a great time. We talked a lot, came back to the house, and he said, if you ever want to go fishing with me, because he was a big fisherman, he said he can contact me, and he gave me his phone number. Well, that next weekend, I gave him a call, and the number had changed. And that was the last I had heard from him until very, very recently, as of last week, actually. But I can get more into that a little bit later. That's my experience with divorce as of now.
Yeah, that yeah, we can definitely come back to it, because it with my parents, well, first of all, the divorce was ugly, and for many reasons, and it was shortly after that. I think it went about 2 years, right around there, maybe a little longer, by my own choice. Once I left the house, when I went out on my own, it was, like I said, 2 years or better. I had no contact with my parents. Like, I had zero desire to have that contact, because it was like, up to this point, and not saying that we didn't have any good memories, because I'd be a liar to say that there wasn't, good memories, or we didn't ever have any fun, as a family. But for the most part, it was just hella toxicity, every fucking day. And it was like, I don't want to be around those people. And I've kind of always been like that. Like, if you're toxic, if you're fucking up my headspace, I don't want you in my life, and there's about 2 years that, other than my grandparents, I had no contact. And that's why I said it's, whether it's the parents, obviously there's an impact there, and sadly enough, you would think, we've been doing this thing long enough called marriage and divorce, that we would be more aware of and concentrated on the children, because their coping skills and their ability to manage that obviously is far usually far more inferior than that of what the adults how they should be able to process it. But we were offered, my brother and I were offered no type of therapy, or do you need to talk, anything like that. It was just kind of we did it, we rolled with it, and let the cards fall where they fall, and the damage, let it be where it is, and figure the shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, anyway, getting back to what I was saying, it never really occurred to me the kind of trauma I was actually dealt by not knowing my real father. For so many years, I just pushed it aside and said, well, I've never met him. I don't have any connection to him, so I guess it doesn't matter. But then really thinking about it, I think it's important to know, where you come from and what kind of person your parents are, whether that's good or bad. And like I said, he recently got in contact with me because he's going through a triple bypass surgery coming up, and he doesn't think he's going to make it. So he contacted me again after so many years. It's been since I was 14, and again wants to reconnect. And I think I'm going to give him that opportunity this one last time, just to see what happens. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I'll let you guys go first.
Well, I think that's pretty mature of you, because I mean, obviously, it would be within your right to not want to have to deal with him at all, and just say like, hey, you've had your chances, but if you're willing to at least hear him out and say, I mean, if he's realistically, if he is undergoing the heart surgery, there could be a chance that this is the last time you talk to him. So
and that was heavy on my mind. Like, This could be, I mean, I have trust in doctors and their abilities, but if this is the last time I get to speak with him, I don't want any ill will. You know, as much trauma as he put myself and my mother through, I am not the type of person to harbor hatred.
Yeah. No, you don't seem like that kind of guy.
Yeah, I would just say that, Kyle, if it was me, I would just make sure I'm doing it for me and not for him. I mean, you don't owe him anything.
Right.
And so if it's something that you want to do, that's the only reason I would do it, is if it was something I wanted to do and it's something that was important to me, because if it wasn't, like I said, you don't owe him anything.
Thank you. And yes, I agree. Pardon. I have this idea in my head that although he missed out on my entire life growing up, that maybe I can somehow show him what kind of person I've become. And maybe that can help him in some way as well. Because while he wasn't a good father by any means, because he was just absent. He never even had a chance to undertake the role of being a parent. I'd like to give him that opportunity with somebody that isn't going to judge him for the mistakes that he did make, and make no mistake about it, I'm not going to forget that. But I would like a relationship with my real father, and I guess we'll see how it goes.
And there's there's multiple ways that you can obviously look at it or approach it, and I would agree with everything that's been said so far. And at the end of the day, it is up to you, and you shouldn't feel like you have to do it or you need to do it for him or anyone else but you. And having lost a parent suddenly, and not, the biggest thing I always say is try to, if you can do it and it's healthy and it's not affecting your mental health or your day-to-day life or even your your day-to-day relationships, minimize the opportunity for regrets, because if there's anything that still eats at me, I still have a lot of those with my mom just boom gone. I look back and there's a lot of things that I wish I would have asked, conversations I would have had with her, and looking back now, and not saying that it's all lovey-dovey shit either. There's some very difficult conversations that I wish I would have had with her, before she was gone. So you want to weigh all that out, and how important is that to you and for you, but I 100% understand wanting to have that relationship with your biological parents. I think for most that's a desire, unless your parents are just super fucked up individuals that only bring toxicity in your life, and they don't offer any benefit,
that's a whole other conversation right there.
And that's what I said, that at the end of the day, and as we always say, none of us are here professionals. We're just going off our own kind of experience and lessons in life, and even observing other people's experience. But I would say to you and anybody, no matter the situation, you do what's the most healthy for you, and whatever it is that chase your happy. That's what matters. If you're happy, that's all that fucking matters.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, Oz, I really like what you're saying. That really relates to what I've been going through lately. Like before, I wasn't doing things for myself. I was doing things to try to save the marriage, and it was something that I knew was failing, and I was under a lot of pressure and all the stress, and now that we've decided to get divorced, has just so much pressure has been lifted off. We don't have this expectation of each other that we both know we can't fulfill. We we actually like hang out now and just, you know, like we were really good friends before we got together, and it's like we are really good friends again now. We're still living in the same house. We're in separate bedrooms now, but you know, it's I'm doing things for myself. Like I'm taking care of myself, and you know, well, for myself and my kids. The kids are the number one priority, but I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't thinking about what I want and what I need, and that was affecting a lot of other people in my life.
And well, yeah, there's two things there that I can look back, and not my parents, but my own personal journey through those. And first and foremost, as soon as whether it's marriage or, you know, partners and, you know, committed relationship, once it becomes a task or a job, or a responsibility, that doesn't mean like that's a hard, you know, for everyone that's a hard stop, or it's, you know,
Right.
throwing the towel, or, you know, anything like that. But those should be the warning signs, at least, that okay, either we go back to go back to the drawing board and figure out where this got off the tracks, or, you know, worst case / best case scenario, if it's something that you know, like my first wife, we were married 16 years, we have 4 kids together. When we got married, I was fucking 18 years old, man. What the fuck do I know about the world when I'm 18 goddamn years old, you know? And you know, I get into my 30s, we are not the same people.
Yeah.
Right? We are
Yep.
completely different people at that point. And I look back now, you know, and Jen and I have talked about this, you know, and I don't get on here and talk shit about either, you know, my first or second wife. I'm just not, you know, not that guy, because believe me, I can't. I know I'm not always the easiest person to live with, especially with my mental health stuff. I know it's
Right.
I know I'm a piece of work, man. But like with that, she kind of like what you had mentioned, Shane. I was talking to somebody about this the other day too. You know, in retrospect, she did a lot of fucked up shit through that process. There's no doubt about it. But I also, looking back, I was undiagnosed, untreated, unmedicated, no therapy. You know, so there's I want to be fair, and I want to play it down the middle as much as I can. At this point, in retrospect, I don't fucking blame her. I wouldn't want to have been married to that asshole either. You know?
That's and the way I look at it is, if there are things that she has done, you know, that like we both have things that we've done to each other that we regret, and you have to think about, would you have been able to be approached with that sort of information if your wife wanted to talk to you and say like, hey, you know, I'm having this issue, or this is what's going on, how would you have reacted? And I mean, I'm not saying you're a violent person at all, and I'm not either, but that is a thing where, you know, you as a woman, you instinctively have this you know, concern for your safety, and that could be part of it.
Yeah, and I've never like in an aggressive or violent manner, I've never touched a woman, you know,
Right.
in that manner, that regard. And so I know it wasn't that, but the hesitancy for her to try to do that, I would get, because my biggest thing wasn't so much my reaction as far as, well, I don't want to do this because I don't want to improve, or I don't want to get better. It was I already had abandonment issues, and
Yep.
if I felt if I get put in that corner where I feel like I may be in a situation where I'm being abandoned again, left, stranded and on my own, again, I didn't act out. If anything, I reclused even more. It was like, well, I'm not even gonna give. I'm not only am I not gonna have the conversation,
Right.
I'm not even gonna give you the opportunity to fucking bring it up, and I'll just disappear, which just makes it worse, obviously. So I would understand why it wasn't a hey, can we sit down and talk about this? No.
Yeah.
Sure
Yeah,
can.
that's how I was too. Like I would just shut down. I do this thing where if she was trying to talk to me about something and I was getting upset, I go like this. I don't know why it's this instinctive reaction. I just kind of do this, and it looks like either I'm shielding myself or I'm like blocking. Like I don't even just want to deal with it or talk about it. And it's this weird tick that I had or have. But I would just shut down and denial, just refuse to be like, no, that's not true at all. That and until I mean, she tried to have this conversation with me 6 or 7 times over the course of several years, and it just wasn't really sinking in. But now that I feel like I'm more mature and put together, it's starting to sink in, and I'm starting to realize what was going on. What you said before about when you got together when you were 18, we were like 21 or 22, and we got we were actually had a lot of fun when we were in our early 20s. We were really happy. That was the best part of our relationship. And then after my son was born, when I was like 28 or 29, she grew up and I didn't really. And now I finally did grow up, and we're both in a separate paths, 2 different people. We want different things out of life, and it's not, we're both sad that our relationship has ended, but we still care for each other very much and want each other to be happy.
And
sorry,
kudos.
I've been rambling. I guess I need to do just.
No, you're not rambling. This is good.
Yep.
Aaron, you haven't. I've been talking a lot. Do you have anything you want to say?
Well, for me, it is after 2 divorces, it's finally coming to, because both of them were shit shows. Both of mine were shit shows because from the religious background I came from, it had to be somebody's fault. It couldn't just be,
Of course,
a relationship has evolved and now it's, moved to a place that we're, no longer a romantic relationship or no longer compatible or we've changed. It has to be vitriolic and it has to be somebody's fault. And so the realization that relationships, romantic relationships, or even friendships, they don't necessarily have to be forever, and that can be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes coming into a relationship and putting the pressure on forever, I think that was probably for my first divorce. The cause of my first divorce was being married to I got married at 19, and it was 10 years later we were right. So totally different. I still,
that happens.
I mean,
that's what
I still liked her, but we're just 2 different people, and putting that expectation on a 19-year-old, okay, you got to pick the person you're going to spend forever with. Well, it didn't work out, and it often doesn't, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's okay that the relationship, the coexisting, it's okay if it's not okay anymore,
Yeah.
And I'll say this, and then Jena asked a great question I'll bring up here on the screen here in a minute. But Aaron, to what you said, the religious baggage in marriage when you are, and this is going to kick into Jena's question. Perfect example, and I'll share mine when I put this question up here. But like my parents, and RIP mom, but for the life of me, I still don't know why she stayed married to that man as long as she did, other than this is what the Bible says. This is what God says. I mean, the woman was abused for, they were married 16 years as well, almost that entire time, you know, and, look back and everything, so the reason that the family unit had to stay intact was we had to look like the good Christian family, right?
Yep.
Mom's a ministry, dad's a usher, but and that's not okay. That's not healthy. There shouldn't be because of an ancient text that you stay in and it doesn't even have to be toxic or abusive. It could just be you don't love each other anymore. Why do you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody you don't give a fuck about no more? I don't that part blows my mind now as well. But let's get this question up here. But before we do, we didn't properly start the stream earlier, so we'll do it here. Have a drink.
I will have a smoke.
All right. What's up, everybody in the chat? But thanks for hanging out with us. Jena, question for the panel. If you're still believers, do you feel you'd still be divorced or planning to divorce? Question mark. Relevance to this question is because I have family that refuse to obviously divorce or file for divorce because of faith. And I'll just say yes to both mine. That would have been.
Yeah, mine too. I was a believer when I had my first divorce. So, yeah, it's yes.
I think if I was still a believer, I would think divorce was, wrong, and I would try to work it out and think it was my godly duty or whatever to stay together. And that would just make things so much worse.
Yeah, for me, that's why we were married 10 years, and that's why we were married that long, is because trying to make it work when it just didn't work anymore. If we were honest and realistic with each other, we were just done. We were just over. But because we had that religious belief, for 3 or 4 years, we stayed 3 or 4 years too long. We stayed in because we were just trying to make it work because of all the religious and the religious doctrine and the social dynamics that's related with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just agreeing.
Okay. Yeah, the only one that I would say maybe divorce wouldn't happen would have been with my first wife, but we were still believers at that time. So that I was thinking through it, and I'm like, that wasn't relevant anyway. But they both would have been done deals. But unfortunately, I know too many people that, especially the older generation, like my grandparents, man, them sons of bitches don't divorce for shit. They can hate each other, and it's like, but we're doing what God said. Like, congrats, you're miserable.
Yeah. Well,
I have family. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the Lord likes it when people will suffer.
Right. I have family members who are married but have lived separate houses, separate lives for 25, 30 years, but are still married because they won't get divorced because the book says.
Yeah.
And this is I want to be very specific because I do know some couples that do this because maybe one part of the partnership maybe has extreme sleep apnea or snores like a goddamn fucking grizzly bear. That's me.
Hi.
It's So there are some cases like that or whatever, other health, maybe health reasons, but why someone would need to, for their own quality of sleep, to take care of their mental health, because sleep is, very much associated with that. Believe me, I know. And why somebody may even want to sleep in separate rooms, like for health reasons, things like that. Like I fucking get it, like when Jena moves here, she's like, fuck, I'm going to sleep in the living room. That or kick my ass to the, to the cut. Cause I snore like a fucking animal. But I say that because I want to make sure that caveat's there. But then I know other couples, it's like they just can't stand being around each other. And it's like, I'm sleeping here. There's your room. There's my. Why your roommates at this point?
Yeah.
Just call it what it is. And in my second marriage, that's how it got with us. It was like, all of a sudden, my bedroom turned into a living room. My couch was my bed. and for me, and again, for me that sucks. And I don't want to be, if I am going to live with someone and they're my partner and we're in love and we want to share life together, I don't always want to have to sleep in another room and hate you being in the same vicinity as I am. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
I've I've actually been with my girlfriend for going on 8 years now.
Nice.
And one of the things I've always feared was the whole possibility of falling out of love. But from what you were saying, Shane, it doesn't seem like, that's really the end of the world or anything like that. It could just be a new beginning.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the stream is being comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? Well, I feel like this has been Shane's divorce, on Tang. But yeah, I've realized that we both realized that we're not in love anymore, and she has started a new relationship with someone who is online, and the guy lives in Michigan. So our plan was to sell the house, and we've always wanted, or at least I have always wanted, to move out of state. So if we have kids here, he has kids and everything else, they were going to try to make it work. It's a guy she's known for a while, so they had a connection. They just never acted on it because they were both in committed relationships and couldn't, but now they're not. And so I brought up the idea. I was like, well, the only thing that's really keeping us here is me. So why don't we both move to Michigan together? And that way you can move in with him and I can be down the street or the town next door, and we'll both have the kids together. Going, they wouldn't have to change schools and go back and forth. We could keep them going to the same school. We could just have everybody in their lives and all being happy. And, if we obviously weren't happy together, and if she has the chance to be happy with someone else, I want to make that happen for her. I don't want to hold that back and maybe wait like several years just because of logistics and everything, because of the kids and where we live. This just seemed like so much more sense, because we can sell our expensive ass house in California and buy 2 houses that are both nicer than our house for the same amount of money in Michigan. So that's what we're gonna do. And I just figured, why not just speed up the timeline a little bit, and we're all moving there.
Well, Shane, you seem like the example of, and as far as divorces go, everything that goes right. Why do you think that is? Could it be your communication? Is that important?
Openness. Yeah, openness and honesty. That's something that we've been, because we didn't want to keep secrets from each other anymore. We didn't want to not be able to talk about how we feel. So we've just been incredibly honest with each other, and it has really lifted a lot of weight off of all of our shoulders. And the tension is gone. Everything is so much happier. We enjoy hanging out with each other, at dinner time or whatever. Like, we still cook for each other. We still, act as like a partnership for our kids. We're just not in a romantic relationship anymore. And
so honesty and communication is key.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the reason why we were having so much trouble is because we weren't communicating and we weren't honest. And if we had been, maybe a lot of this or all of this could have been avoided, or maybe not. Maybe we still would have broken up, and this just sped up the timeline, But it was just being honest and open, and another thing I realized is I wasn't acting like I cared about my family. I wasn't being responsible. Like, I was smoking pot and not being reliable, late for things, sometimes, sleeping when I should be watching the kids, or that sort of thing, And now, sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought. Honesty, openness. Yeah. So now that no, that wasn't it. Sorry. I don't know. Does anybody else want to jump in here?
I'll jump in there, because now I'm over 2 as far as this marriage thing. And Jena just put in the chat a minute ago. We've already agreed that like we're gonna have like a party and a celebration, but we're not going to go down to the courthouse and sign the papers. We don't need a piece of paper.
Yep.
To confirm that we love each other, care about each other, and we want to share this thing called life with each other. Like, we don't need that. So we both chosen that route. But we still want to kind of celebrate or party or whatever you want to call it with our friends and our family.
You let me know when that party is.
Fuck yeah.
Cool, man. Cool.
So that's the route we've chosen. And I can say emphatically 100% to what Shane was just saying, going 0 for 2. Honesty. That's honesty and communication. That's whether it's a romantic relationship, friendship, business relationship. Once one of those breaks down, or both of those break down, good luck. That's like all the tires on your vehicle are just done, right? And you're just rolling on the rims. Good luck, and I can emphatically say that, which is crazy to, when I think about it, especially I say it out loud, where, Jen and I are approaching a year, that we've been talking and dating and having all these discussions. And this is hands down the healthiest foundation that I've ever had in a relationship, as far as starting point. And
great.
We hide nothing. We talk about everything, and we just have this rule, and it's almost like we never even talked about it. It's just like an unspoken like rule or expectation in our relationship, where if one of us, whether it's a mental health thing or maybe a family thing happened, if one of us are upset, we don't hang up that phone until we know that the other person's in a good spot, or at least a better spot.
I love that.
And that we've helped to kind of free up that mental real estate, and not focus on that, but focus on, trying to find address whatever the negative is or whatever the problem is, like address that. But what are the things that we can take from it to be better, to be healthier? Even if it's just sometimes trying to find just a silver lining to focus on, because it's so easy. Her and I were just talking about this the other night. It's so easy, especially if you do struggle with anxiety, depression, bipolar. Once you fall into that water, it's so easy to drown in that pool of thoughts.
Yep.
Right. And as partners, and her and I being best friends, we have said it out loud, but we just do. We have kind of this nonverbal agreement where it's, no, I'm not going to let you drown in those thoughts. I care too much. I love you too much. I'm not going to let you drown in that. And if you don't have that open line of communication, and you're not vulnerable, and you're not honest about everything, it's hard to have that. It's hard to share that because there's the constant. Well, what if this is going on, and what if they feel like this because of this, and then now you're both fucked in the head, right? But when you don't have to worry about those speed bumps and roadblocks and all that, it's much easier to be a help to each other and not make those situations worse.
So I remember where I was going earlier. I was saying I didn't act like I care. And it's about, we were talking about honesty, and part of being honest is being honest with yourself. And I didn't realize until, recently that I wasn't acting like I cared about my wife or my kids. And if I do care about her, then what I want most is for her to be happy. And if I am honest with myself and realize that we're not happy together here, but she could be happy with someone else, then I should be supportive of that. And intellectually I came to that decision first, and my emotions took a while to follow to get to where I am now. It was rough. I'm not saying this wasn't hard. This was really hard to go through. But I'm just I feel like we're both in a much better place now.
That's really cool to hear.
Yeah, and like for real, like big time, like kudos to you and her, because that's it's a big fucking deal, Shane, and that's adulting 101 right there. Like you guys are doing the best thing for you two, and you guys being happy individually, which is only going to help children that are involved, because when there's conflict, especially going through a divorce, like we talked about earlier, we don't have to go back around and hit that again, but it's for the kids, man, that shit sucks, and so good on and good for both of you, because that's a lot of maturity. That's a lot of maturity. And I wish I had a similar story to that. I do. I mean, I envy that, because mine were so nasty. And so good for you guys. And yeah, you got there a lot faster than most people do. A lot faster. So good for you. Thanks.
Yeah, I guess part of coming on here and talking about that is to sort of like we're normalizing divorce, saying that it's divorce doesn't mean it's a failure, because everybody it's always like, oh, I had 2 failed marriages, and so that this is what divorce can look like. People can still care for each other and not want to be married anymore. That it can be amicable, it could be open and honest, and it is an option. So like you were saying, with these people that stay in these marriages where they're roommates and then living in separate bedrooms and everything. That like this divorce is an option. It shouldn't be stigmatized. And there are some things that I haven't told my parents about. Like I haven't really talked about this whole thing publicly with the other relationship. You know, I haven't told my parents why we're moving to Michigan, because they're not only are they boomers, they're conservative Christians, and it just I figure it's best to wait until after we move, and then I tell them why. But I don't want them to judge me, and I don't want them to judge my wife, because I don't fault her for anything. And you know, we've worked everything out that the issues we've had with each other and all the resentment we used to have, and still some of that's there. You know, it's just always, you know, it's going to take time to work through, but it's so much better than it was. And we're living together now is like, it's just so much more enjoyable. Sorry, this was like Shane's therapy session.
Well, no, I mean, you brought it up, and we're here. We're here to support you, bro. Like you're. I would hope that if I were, you know, when I was going through my divorce, if we did something like that, and I know you guys would, but that I would have the space and the ability just to, because this is part of therapy when you're going through that shit. Is just hearing yourself get it, you know, whether you've said it twice or 100 times. It's very therapeutic. So don't be sorry. No, I have to tell Jenna that all the time. Quit saying you're sorry. You have nothing to be sorry for.
Oh fuck, sorry, Oz.
Real quick, Pat brought up a good point. My son is autistic, and taking care of a kid with special needs definitely does require a lot of time and effort and, you know, coordination, and it's something that we have as our top priority. And I know, you know, my wife is a really good mom, and she just wants what's best for for the kids. And one of the main priorities about us moving is finding programs for our son that are you know, that will help him and support him.
Yeah, like
and I think that's great, because a lot of times when there's a kid with special needs and parents split up, one of the parents checks out and just like, you know, this is too hard, I don't want to deal with this anymore, and then they literally leave it for the other parent. And that's just, I could never do that. That would be so horrible. You know, but he's such a great little guy that we just want what's best for him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that really matters.
Hard stop. Absolutely. And again, I can't say it enough, and you and her deserve to hear it. And I hope people can continue to encourage you with it. But you guys are handling this. This is probably number one or two best handled divorces that I've seen or heard or talked to anyone about, and that's a big deal, because fuck, you know, my parents' generation, even you know, the ones I went to school with, hung out with, there's some of them are on like number 3, you know. Yeah. And I do want to go back to what you said, Shane, as far as again, sharing a home and me not understanding that. I'm saying that from why if there's that animosity, there's that constant friction, and nobody's ever happy, and just seeing that person's face or hearing that person's voice causes this, like, you know, whether it's anxiety or anger or resentment, whatever. That's what I was talking about specifically. It's like, why would you want to be there in that atmosphere? Now, if it's amicable, like what you're talking about, fuck it. Who gives a shit what anybody thinks? you know, but I don't understand it if it's toxic.
Well, it's also, we live in California, and it's
See, California was like, nope. Quiet. No, I'm sure it'll come back on, but no, good for you, Shane. I don't know if you can still hear us, but good for you. And
it's amazing. I mean, I just thinking back on my divorces, what Shane's talking about. It really is impressive and amazing and it's possible. It is possible when relationships end that it doesn't have to be a disaster.
Yeah. I and like I said, I try to be fair and call everything down the middle. But my second wife, her divorce with from her what was her ex-husband. So her first husband. That was probably the cleanest, most simple, and the reason I would say that one's even crazier to me is because they had so many like assets, and they literally sat down, went through it all together, then took it to the attorney, signed the papers. I remember I was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
How? Like, y'all did that peacefully? What the fuck? So that and what Shane's sharing, that those are the two, really the only two that I can think of that weren't in some form or fashion had at least a layer of ugly, to it. And yeah, I'm glad for he and her and the kids that it's and it does feel weird to say it because culturally there is so much stigma behind it, but I'm glad that they're having a healthy divorce.
Yeah,
it feels so weird to say that, but I am. I'm grateful for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, especially because of all the stigma and the religious baggage that comes along with that. You are looking for it to be somebody's fault. You want somebody to be the bad guy. You're looking for someone. You're in the wrong, and that's why it ended. But that doesn't have to be the case. There doesn't have to be a good guy and a bad guy. It can just be we've grown apart, and it's time to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we talked about earlier, I think about like myself, and I think you said you were 19. And there's I've just known so many couples that married that young. I don't know. And again, this is anecdotal, but I'm not sure that I know any of them that married as young as we did that are still currently in that relationship or married, because you jump into a forever, like you were talking about, which I totally agree, especially when you're that young, that forever relationship at 18. There's no way. Dude, I was a child at 18.
Yep.
I was a fucking child, and now all of a sudden at 18, then 18, 19, whatever. I'm married, and you're gonna throw a baby in my hands. This world has gone mad. and by the time I'm in my mid 30s or whatever, it's like I don't even know you. Like you're not even
Right.
the same person that I got married to. So yeah, as ugly as that ended up being, I love hearing. And again, but Shane's right. We don't need all this stigma behind it, but because of society and especially the Christian view or aspect on marriage and divorce, it still feels weird to say, I'm happy you're having a healthy divorce. It still feels awkward, but we do need to talk about that. We do need to celebrate it when people are being adults and fucking being mature. We need to celebrate that for them. Yep.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you given me the space to, you know, pour all my feelings out, I guess.
Well, I always say I'm not a specialist and I'm no Dr. Phil, but typically a good listener.
Yeah. No, that helps a lot of times. You know, you just need someone to talk to.
Yeah, and yeah, you're exactly right. And like, and Jena knows this about me. Like, if I am in a funk, or you know, maybe whether it's, you know, more the mental health related shit, you know, we, again, having that open, honest communication. I've told her I don't need fixers. I don't need people solving all my problems, because I've had people try to do that my entire life. You're not solving this thing. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a little crazy, right? So just let me talk through it, talk out loud, and please just listen. And then if then once I'm done, I feel like I got it all off my chest or my shoulders, you know, then we can ask questions, go back and forth and talk. But I first need to hear myself out loud.
Yep.
Talk it through, and because that helps me identify, okay, is this reasonable? Is this logical? Or is this my fucking brain lying to me right now? You know, and until I get it outside of my head, like I was talking about earlier, I just drown in it. And you know, so if you have you know, one, or if not both people in a partnership or a marriage, that there's not that freedom, so to speak, to be able to be raw and authentic like that, and it not always be about having the answers and having the fix and having the solution. It can be even more problematic. Now I'm rambling. You're welcome.
Well,
go ahead, because there's a question I was going to ask you guys, and I lost it. So you go.
no, I was just gonna say, unless you guys want to hear me talk more. You know.
We're here for you, Shane.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate it. So what was the question you had?
I lost it. And see, I haven't taken on because I haven't been sleeping. I haven't taken any of my Adderall today, because I actually want to try to sleep tonight if I can. So it's like I'm here and I'm focused, but it's like every time I have a question or the next thought, it's like I just can't retain anything right now.
Yeah. Well, Aaron, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I mean, divorce is always hard, and it's, but it doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be vitriolic. And Shane is showing us how to do that, and I think that's amazing. When you were gone, I said, you know, I'm amazed because of my personal experiences that were just such shit shows that it's how you're handling it. You and your ex are handling it, and it's really really amazing.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I think, if I'm being honest, it's kind of weird because all the divorces I've ever heard of are you know, either ugly or just like, oh, we're trying to be cordial for the kids, you know, but it's just, I don't know. But so I'm really excited for the future. I'm excited for the kids to grow up in a great environment, and you know, one day, maybe when I have sorted out a lot of things that I'm working on in myself, I'll be looking for someone else who I can be happy with. You know, but that's down the road. So, yeah. And my daughter turns 2 on Thursday, so she's adorable.
Uh-oh, the terrible twos. Watch out.
Yeah, she started those a little early. She is definitely the boss of the house. So she runs everything. Yeah.
Oh, that if I won't take up the stream, but I tell Jenna the stories all the time. Well, she's getting ready to turn 7. My youngest, it's Daddy's little girl. She is her father's daughter, 100%. And you talk about a sassy little ass. Oh my man, I'm like, you. Oh God, I mean, whether it's guys, gals, whatever that she that she is hooking up with, whatever her partnerships look like. I feel sorry for those people when they first meet, whoever those people are, because she takes no shit from nobody already at 6. I'm like, I don't even have to worry about you. Anybody that's a piece of shit, you're gonna scare them off by yourself. You don't even need that. Right. But this is more me being facetious when I say this, but I would be approaching it from a comic, a humorous standpoint with the move. If like what you guys are doing, I would always like be teasing way and in playful way. Well, I mean, since we're moving there, like, you guys are cool. I mean, I can take a room in a basement, save me some money. Yeah. I'll do my best and I'll never make it awkward, but that's mine. I'm a smart ass like that. But no, if there's anything else that you want to say, Shane, we just went over the hour mark. So if there's anything else that you want to talk about, like I said, we're here to support you, and I mean, it's amazing what you're doing and how you're handling it. But yeah, if there's anything else that you want to say or share before we wrap up, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, I just want to plug my soon-to-be ex-wife. She was on Skeptic Haven last week, talking about her vaccine group on Facebook and how she's helped a lot of people who are on the fence get accurate information and go ahead and get vaccinated. So check that out on Skeptic Haven.
Absolutely.
She interviews very well. So maybe we'll have her on some more things.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I wasn't even aware that she, like, not like that she was making content or she had a YouTube channel, but I didn't even know she was like in the YouTube sphere.
No, I have since stepped down because I want to focus on everything that's going on. But I used to be in the booking team for Skeptic Haven, so I booked her on a show because she's actually really cool. She has this. I'm saying that like it's a surprise. Like, my wife is cool. No, but no, she co-founded this Facebook group that has like close to 80,000 members now, and it's all about evidence-based vaccine discussion, and it's really helped a lot of people that are either against vaccines or misinformed or on the fence find the accurate information and go ahead and actually say, hey, this is not just COVID vaccines but everything else too. Oh yeah, there you go. Jena posted the link.
Thanks, Jena. They're big. All right, and then I know Kyle had to take a phone call. Aaron, hey Ron, anything you'd like to say or share before we wrap it up like a burrito?
No, man. I just think if you're going through that, going through a divorce, therapy helps. Therapy always helps.
Yeah.
So that would be it's one of the things I wish that I would have had while I was going through my divorces, therapy. So can't recommend it enough.
Yeah. And yes, absolutely. I agree. And really anything in life, even if you life is beautiful right now, it more likely than not is not always going to be beautiful. So it's go talk to a therapist anyway,
Yep.
And It's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, we've done several streams before about the importance of mental health and taking care of yourself, and you know, it doesn't just affect you; it affects everybody that you have a relationship with or that is in your life. So it's definitely something you should do for yourself and for the people that you love.
Absolutely. Yep. And I know this is because we've all said this before, but do it for you first. If you're going to therapy for other people, that's telling an addict to go get help for the family. No.
It has to be for you. The most motivation has to be for yourself because you want it and you want to get better. Yep.
Absolutely. And I guess I won't repeat or regurgitate what you guys have already said, what Kyle has already said, but if anything, Shane, and his would now be ex-wife are showing and modeling to those around them and our community that you can do this and be healthy and be okay. And that those involved can be still loving and mature and caring for themselves, for the children, and even for the rest of the family. They're gonna have to, one form or fashion, kind of, have their impact, so to speak, from it. And you guys are doing a great job, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that, and it's awesome to hear that because I've just been, unfortunately, around too many of the ugly ones. So when I hear this, it's like, this is amazing. I didn't know this was real life.
Right.
But no, and Shane, obviously, you're always welcome, to talk about the here or private, whatever I know you know that by now, but more than anything, thanks for coming on, hanging out with us, sharing, trusting us and sharing it with us. And then those that were in the chat, holy shit, I knocked everything over. Everybody in the chat, and hopefully it helped you tonight. That's what I want out of it.
Yeah.
That it helped you. But and Kyle Brewer, probably still on his phone call. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll do this again next.
I wonder if it was his dad calling.
That's a good point. I'm not sure.
I don't know. That was just me being nosy. I hope, Kyle, if you're listening, I really hope things work out for you. That sounds like you're being very mature about this and handling it in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, just remember, you have to, whether it's that like Kyle's situation with his biological dad, or the Shane and his partner, what how they're handling it. What matters is you're taking that you have to address your happy first, because if you're not happy and you're not in a good place, you're not going to be able to help anyone. You're not going to be able to be a healthy support system for anyone. So take care of you. First make sure you're in a good place and you're pursuing your happy to the best of your ability. And from there let the professionals help. Therapy. We can't say it enough. So and definitely Shane and Ron, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And I was going to do the announcements, but my brain I'm it's about gone. So I'm not even gonna but yeah, I'm not even gonna do them. Love y'all. Appreciate you, and we'll holler at you next time.
Yeah. This is for all you non-philosophizing black sheep, unwelcome, pushed to the side motherfuckers like me.
Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Let's get down to business. These bitches got glitches. And you thought you'd dismiss us? Nah. Now I'm laughing in stitches. See, the problem be, it'll be a tragic travesty to come after me. So just know this is how we get down. Respect that shit like a pronoun, bitch. Yeah, fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, and fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way.